gonna make the whiskey sour and a vegan whiskey sour for those of you who hate egg whites. So I love this cocktail. A good whiskey sour is truly one of the most enjoyable cocktails to drink. So our build for our whiskey sour is 2 ounces of bourbon, 3/4 ounce Demerara syrup, 3/4 ounce lemon juice, an ounce of egg white, and a pinch of sea salt. And that is the secret to what I believe is the best whiskey sour recipe. And for the vegan whiskey sour, we're gonna keep that same build, except we're gonna replace the 1 ounce of egg white with 1 ounce of Aquafaba. Now, you may be asking me, what the fuck is Aquafaba? Okay, now Aquafaba is that delicious sweet nectar that these chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, are sitting in. Now, since this is the first egg white cocktail on this channel, we're gonna go over the technique for making an egg white cocktail, which consists of using 2 shakes, a wet shake and a dry shake. And the difference between the two is simple. A wet shake is your standard shake that you use for all shaking cocktails. You shake with ice, hence wet, and you still shake for 12 seconds. But then, after the wet shake, you're gonna wanna strain that cocktail into a clean shaker, and we're gonna shake that cocktail with no ice, dry shake, for 20 seconds. And this will ensure you get the frothiest whiskey sours. And if you hang with me to the end, I'm gonna give you one more secret to ensure that you get the best body and the most amount of frothiness you can on your whiskey sours. But before that, let's jump into our prep work. So for this cocktail, our prep is pretty light. All we need to do is make our Demerara syrup, we need to juice our lemons, we need to crack some eggs for our egg whites, and we also need to strain our garbanzo beans to get our Aquafaba. So for our tools for our prep today, we're gonna need a basket strainer. You may need a can opener for your garbanzo beans. We're gonna need a kitchen scale. We're gonna need a pot. You're gonna need a cutting board. You're gonna need a knife. You're gonna need a bar spoon or something you can stir with. You're also gonna need a citrus juicer. All right, so to start with our prep, we're gonna grab a container and grab our basket strainer. You're also gonna grab your can opener. Let's go ahead and get our garbanzo beans opened up and just strain, saving that liquid. And what you can also do is grab another quart container to store your garbanzo beans and use them for a recipe like hummus at home. I believe Michael Solomonov has a fabulous recipe that I love to use. I'll drop the recipe link in the description for you to check out for your spare garbanzo beans. Let's go ahead and put lids on both of those. And you want to grab something like some blue tape so we can label. All right, so we got our Aquafaba. Let's get started on our Demerara syrup. Now, today, in place of Demerara, I'm using turbinado sugar instead of Demerara sugar. Basically, all of my stores all around town happen to be out of Demerara sugar today. So sometimes you gotta think on your feet, make a switch. The main difference between turbinado sugar and Demerara sugar is how it's processed. Turbinado sugar comes from the first press of sugarcane, so it does get a more rich mapley note than Demerara, but both will generally give you a similar flavor. So we're gonna grab our kitchen scale, grab a container to weigh with, place it on your scale. Make sure you zero out that scale. Grab your Demerara sugar or turbinado sugar if you have the same issue as me, and you're gonna weigh out 250 grams of sugar. Add your sugar to the pot. Next, you're gonna weigh out 250 grams of water. Add your water to the pot. Next, we want to get our burner turned up to a medium-high heat. So once you have your burner turned on, go ahead and give it a little stir. And what we want to do is we want to bring our syrup just to a boil, long enough to where our sugar completely dissolves into the water. Now, while we're waiting on that to boil, let's go ahead and get our lemons cut and juiced. Now, I like to cut all my lemons at once and then juice them all at once, just for a quicker process. Have your knife. All right, we got all our lemons cut. Next, we're gonna grab a container and we're gonna grab our citrus juicer. Got a container, got our citrus juicer. Let's grab our lemons, rind side up, give them a squeeze. Open it up, give it another squeeze. Last one. Now, as always, we want to double strain all of our citrus juice. Grab a basket strainer, place it over a container, pour your citrus through it once, gets any seeds and all that little pulp out of there, and go ahead and strain it a second time. Go ahead and grab some blue tape or something to label with. Perfect timing. Syrup is coming to a boil. Go ahead and turn the power off on that. And we're gonna wanna let that cool before we pour that into a storage container. All right, so while we're waiting for our syrup to cool, I'm gonna go ahead and crack a couple eggs to separate the egg whites. What you wanna do is crack your egg on a flat surface and just let the egg whites come out and toss it back and forth. You can save the yolks for later use if you need. All right, we have our egg whites separated. Let's go ahead and grab some blue tape to label that as well, in case we don't use it all. Got a lid. So our syrup is cool. Let's go ahead and pour that into a storage container. Let's Just grab some blue tape to label and date. All right, guys, our prep is done. I went ahead and put my syrup, my lemon juice, and my Aquafaba all in cheater bottles just to make the cocktail making process a little easier. So we're gonna make one cocktail at a time on this one to ensure we get a great shake. We're not gonna do a double shake on this. The short side of your shaker tin, and grab your jigger. All right, so always working cheapest ingredients to most expensive ingredients. We're gonna start with our 3/4 ounce lemon juice, our 3/4 ounce Demerara or Turbinado. We've got the egg whites that we cracked, so I'm gonna do 1 ounce of egg white, 2 ounces of our bourbon, and lastly, a pinch of sea salt. Now grab the large side of your shaker, and we're gonna get some ice. Remember, this is our wet shake. We start with our wet shake. So we fill the shaker to the top, close it up like always. We're gonna shake for 12 seconds. Crack our container open. We're gonna grab our other large shaker. We're also gonna grab our Hawthorne strainer, and we're gonna strain it into our clean shaker that has no ice. Get every bit. All right, guys, now as I said, I have a little extra tip for you to get the frothiest egg whites. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take another Hawthorne strainer. We're gonna take the spring off it. We're gonna place that spring into the shaker. We're gonna seal the shaker up with no ice, hence a dry shake. Seal it, and we wanna shake for 20 seconds. Crack your container, grab our glassware, and grab both your Hawthorne and your basket strainer. We want to double strain. We get this beautiful, frothy whiskey sour. And lastly, we want to garnish it with Angostura bitters. We're going to put a little line of Ango right across the top. Grab something like a toothpick. Create all sorts of little designs. Now before I taste this whiskey sour, I'm gonna make the vegan whiskey sour as well for you. And I'll do a little taste side by side for comparison. So again, grab the short side of your shaker, grab our jigger, make sure we grab our glassware this time ahead of time. 3/4 ounce lemon juice, 3/4 ounce your Demerara syrup or Turbinado syrup, 1 ounce of your Aquafaba, 2 ounces of bourbon, and to finish off, a pinch of sea salt. Grab the large side of your shaker, get some ice for our wet shake. And the purpose of our wet shake is to dilute. The purpose of our dry shake is to froth up the cocktail. Seal it, and again, we're gonna shake for 12 seconds. And grab another large shaker, strain that into the shaker. Again, with our little trick, grab the spring from one of your Hawthorne strainers, throw it in there, grab the small side of your shaker, seal this up with no ice, and we shake for 20 seconds. Right. 20 seconds. It's exhausting. It's a fucking cardio workout. Grab your Hawthorne strainer, grab your basket strainer, your glassware, and double strain that cocktail. And as you can see, the Aquafaba, the vegan whiskey sour, it's almost like just as frothy as our traditional whiskey sour. You know, garnish with Angostura bitters. The reason we garnish with bitters like that is it kind of covers up the smell of the egg white and the Aquafaba, honestly, because they both have kind of unique smells. With the Angostura, you get a little more like cinnamon, barky notes, and you get a pretty design. And there we have it, the whiskey sour, the vegan whiskey sour. Let's taste. Really nice. Nice acidity on the cocktail. The saltiness lends another layer of flavor. Body from the egg white makes it so rich. And on the nose, you get the Angostura. Again, you get those notes of cinnamon, which is really nice. Let's try our vegan whiskey sour. Really nice as well. A little different flavor profile. I don't feel like it's as acidic almost as the traditional whiskey sour. Same amount of lemon juice, same amount of syrup. But man, is that a great vegan comparison to our traditional whiskey sour with egg white. Very nice balance in the cocktails. Truly, truly delicious. And just both very enjoyable. Vegan or not, both phenomenal. There it is, guys. Whiskey sours for any occasion or any preference. We got the OG whiskey sour. We got the vegan whiskey sour. I hope you all enjoyed today's recipes. Maybe you made them along with me. Maybe you're writing them down and saving them for a later date. Either way, guys, let me know how you're liking the cocktails. And hey, become a regular somewhere. Become a regular at your local watering hole. It's the best way to support local business. And become a regular here at Happiness Bar by liking, commenting, subscribing. Hit that bell if you want notifications. We got cocktail videos coming out every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern to get you ready for the weekend. Stay happy, everyone. Grab your Hawthorne strainer, grab your Hawthorne strainer, grab your basket strainer.